Hi, I'm Sherry Riley. I am a wife, mother, daughter, and entrepreneur. And we all know this is not easy, but I figured out how to make it simple. My 9 principles of exponential living serve as the guide on how to stop spending 100% of our time on 10% of who we are. And I want to thank you for watching my first video where we talked about how we overcome those 4 pain points. You know, those things that all of us going to reach at some point, whether it's one of them or multiples of them. And those 4 pain points are what's next. I have the life I want, I have the career I want, but there's more. And I just need help creating that bandwidth. Or now what? I've reached my career success point that I've wanted. I'm here, I have the career, or I have the work that I want to do in my life, but I've accomplished that, and now it's time to do something else. The 3rd pain point that we may reach, or we're destined to reach really, is this it? Is this it? Like, I've worked hard, I've gotten the degrees, I've gotten the experience, and I'm here. I have this life, but this isn't what I want. And the last pain point is, how do I live? And this is about a forced or unforced transition. And then the second video was, how do you become a disruptor in your own life? So I want to thank you guys for watching those videos. Also, I'm looking forward to hearing all the successes that you're having on this 21-day Peace and a Positive Mind challenge. That's right, we learned how to create the new habit of catching those negative thoughts, replacing them with positive thoughts, so that we can create a lifestyle of peace and positive thinking. I am so passionate and committed to serving goal-oriented, busy people just like you to discover the power of peace. Because when we truly live in our peace, it gives us clarity. And when you combine peace and clarity, it empowers you with courage to make any decision, deal with any situation in our lives. And what I have discovered is that peace, clarity, and courage truly allows us to live in our power. And I know this firsthand because I had this amazing career. I was working at LaFace Records, which was my dream job. I worked with some of the biggest artists in the world, global superstars, Toni Braxton, TLC, and Usher. I had this amazing career, my dream job, and I was miserable. I was stressed. I was full of anxiety. I felt overwhelmed. I was frustrated. I was very short-tempered with my family and friends. And I realized that this amazing career had narrowed my life down to the small 10% of who I was. And so I resigned. I resigned from LaFace Records, and I went on this full discovery of how do you stop spending 100% of your time on 10% of who you are? How do you live in that other 90%? So throughout this journey, I started another business, Glue, and for 17 years, we had the amazing opportunity to work with some of the biggest, most influential artists and athletes and corporations in the world. We worked with Ludacris and BET Networks, TNT, Turner Sports. We worked with Converse and the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, we had this amazing opportunity to work with the biggest companies, artists, athletes. We created marketing and branding strategies. And what I always found consistently is even though clients brought me in to do marketing and branding, at some point we ended up dealing with their personal development issues and challenges. And for many years, I just thought that was my personality. I never knew that that was truly the gift that I was supposed to serve in. And so all these years of doing marketing and ending up working with people just on their personal development as just who I am, I realized that this is really where I wanted to serve. And I began to want to do that more than I wanted to do the marketing. And as my passion for personal development grew, it became very clear to me that I needed to make an investment. I needed to really learn as much about this industry as I did marketing and entertainment and sports. And so I hired coaches. I went to all kind of conferences. I got certified. I spent my time, my money, and I invested in growing who I was in this area. And now, as a life strategist, I take a 360-degree approach with my clients. I work with them not only on their personal development, which fuels our professional growth, but I also work with them on their branding and their overall business strategy. So now I am fully engaged in how do you really have this 360-degree approach to your business and your personal development. What I am fully committed to and what I fully believe in everything that I do is that our personal development fuels our professional growth. I love what Usher said in the foreword of my book, Exponential Living. He says, I feel this is the work she was born to do. What makes Sherry such a unique voice in a crowded field of helpers is that she has lived all of the principles she speaks and writes about. I wish I could give you the gift of spending an hour or two live with Sherry Riley, the coach, the person, the life strategist. Well, Usher, 25 people watching this video will get that opportunity. People ask me all the time, how do I get started? Like, where do I start? And just like I shared on an interview I did with Roland Martin on his show, News One, the first thing we have to do is make a decision. That's why living your power is the very first principle of exponential living. Our power comes from our choices. And just like when I knew personal development was priority for me and I had to seek out experts to help me in the areas that they knew more than I knew. I know what I know, but I don't know what I don't know. And so I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. I am starting a 4-week training and live webinar teaching the principle, live in your power, the 5 keys to inner peace and increased productivity. Now, I'm only offering this to 25 people because I really have a passion for this. I have a passion for helping people go from where they are to where they want to be. And so I'm very hands-on, custom, tailored, personalized in what I do. And I really work with, as I shared earlier, the ready, the willing, and committed. And so there's 25 people that we're going to come together and we're going to go through the very first principle, live in your power, the 5 keys to inner peace and increased productivity. Live in your power, the 5 keys to inner peace and increased productivity is going to help you with some very key areas. One thing it's going to help you with is, and this, I promise you, you're going to have this. You are going to learn how to have 10 extra hours per week in your schedule. 10 extra hours. I mean, you can do with them whatever you want. You can spend more time with your children. You can volunteer at your children's school. You can rest, read a book, watch that guilty pleasure on, one of the TV networks that you've been wanting to watch. But you'll have 10 extra hours a week. You'll be able to stop living a life that's dictated by to-do lists. You'll be able to truly be the disruptor in your own life. You will learn when opportunities are actually distractions. So with all that you've achieved and with all that you have going on and as busy as you are, you don't feel productive and you don't feel fulfilled. And you feel stuck. You just feel stuck. You're frustrated. You're overwhelmed. There's no clarity. But more importantly, for many of you, no matter what you do, you just can't seem to shake this sinking feeling. And for some of you, no matter what you do, you just keep hitting the same brick wall. It just feels like your feet are firmly planted in mud. And no matter how much you do, no matter how much you achieve, you just can't seem to break free. And the reality is, you're ready for a change. You are ready to make the change, take the steps, invest the time, and for you, invest the money to make this real change that you know is possible. I have tailored this program for you. If you really believe, and I know you do, that peace is possible, I'm talking to you. Now, some of you, you're not there yet. You don't believe peace is possible. You're not ready to invest your time, your money. You're not ready to invest your hopes. And that's okay. This isn't for you. But for those of you that are ready, willing, and committed, understand that there's 25 slots. And we are going to go on this journey of discovering how to live in our power. There is always an investment when it's time to learn and when it's time to grow. And the best investment that you can make is in yourself. My client and friend, Denise Hendricks, who's a senior producer at CNN Headline News, I had the honor of serving as her life strategist, and she shared this with me. I'm going to share it with you. Denise says, going through the power process helped me see all the ways that I was giving my personal power away to my job, to my relationships, to my community commitments, to everyone but myself. Since doing a power review of my life, the changes have been astounding on many different levels. In general, I can say, I trust myself more, I am more confident, I am more powerful. I now say yes to things I was fearful of saying yes to before, and I say no to things that I know won't further my purpose and my passion, or the work I'm doing to bless and help others. I would definitely say that she's had some very positive outcomes. What I firmly believe is that we can have the peace, the clarity, and the courage to live in our power and experience exponential living, which means living 100% of who we are. My client, Janai Thornton, CEO of Envision Business Management Group, said it like this: although I'm still doing the same type of work, my intention is different now. I've created more space for my personal life. My life, hear this guys, my life is multi-dimensional. Now I have given myself permission to have adventure and spontaneity. I've allowed myself to be more engaged in my community. I've shifted the priority of my time. It's made me a better parent. It's definitely made me a better spouse and partner. And this one blows me away. She says, because I am not suffering in my own life anymore. Yes, how many of us can relate to that, right? And I'm just so proud of her because she was bold enough to not only say it, but do something about it. See, what she concludes with is, I've learned to just enjoy the journey more. I'm working harder, but it's different now. See, my clients have achieved this type of transformation through their choices, through their intention, and through their commitment. They have truly committed to these 9 principles, understanding that the first thing is they have to learn how to live in their power. This 4-week training, which is an independent study, and the live webinar is $9.97. When you sign up, you'll get the very first lesson on perspective. And then you will receive the subsequent lessons each week thereafter, leading up to the live webinar on July 18th. Live webinar, where it all comes together. So for 4 weeks, you're going to get each one of the lessons. Live in your power. Your perspective, first week. Ownership, you'll receive on the second week. Wisdom on the third week. And the fourth week, you will receive the engagement and reward lessons. And that will prepare you for the live webinar on July 18th. Guys, this is such an amazing opportunity. I'm only doing it with 25 people because I really want us to work together on how you live in your power, your perspective, your ownership, your wisdom, your engagement, and your reward. Now, In addition to this program, you're also going to get a couple of bonuses. I mentioned Janai Thornton and what her results were from working with me as her life strategist and really applying the principles of exponential living to her life. Well, guys, I am going to give you the full video of our conversation. The conversation that's actually featured in my book, Exponential Living. Well, that's an excerpt of it. As a bonus, you're going to receive the entire exponential conversation that we have, and where she really talks about how she went from her 10% living to her 100% living. Here's someone who was a mother of two extremely healthy young men, one in college, one a college graduate, married for over 25 years to her high school sweetheart, and still has a really good marriage. Owner, operator, CEO of a multi-million-dollar business, and she was unfulfilled. She was so disconnected from who she was. And now she has a life that is so full and rich and filled with spontaneity. And she shares on this video the journey she went to get to that point. Also, as an extra bonus, I did 9 weeks of teaching on each principle of exponential living, and you'll also receive all 9 of those live teachings. And also, I've created a private Facebook group for those of us so we can come together and really go on this journey together. So you get the private Facebook group, you get the 9 weeks of me teaching each principle of exponential living, and you receive Janai Thornton's video about how she went from her 10% to her 100%. Those are the bonuses. And the meat of it all is the Live in Your Power training. 4 weeks and live webinar. And we really go into the perspective, ownership, wisdom, engagement, and the reward. So go right now to iliveinpower.com. iliveinpower.com and sign up. Remember, I'm only opening this up for 25 people. 25 people who are ready, willing, and committed. 25 people that are ready to go from frustration to peace, from confusion to clarity, and from being stuck to moving forward courageously. So go to iliveinpower.com and sign up. Sign up, get the first lesson tonight. Let's get started on this journey. Because here's the reality. You know it's time. You know it's time. Yes, I'm talking to you. You know it's time. You've gone on long enough knowing that there was something missing, but just not knowing what to do about it. Not having the accountability partner you needed to really help you through the process. Well, I'm here, and that's what I love to do. My clients will tell you, we go on a journey together because I am as committed to them getting to their place of peace and clarity and power as I am for myself. Because I know what it's like to be stuck. I know what it's like not to have a clue. But I also know what it's like to invest in my personal growth, my professional growth, and be able to sit here as a living example of what the power of peace will do, what the power of clarity will do for you personally and for your family and for your profession. So go to iliveinpower.com. The program is $9.97. Sign up right now. 25 people ready, willing, and committed to make that change. And you'll receive the very first lesson on perspective. And every week for the next 4 weeks, you'll receive the other lessons. And on July 18th, we will have our live webinar, Live in Your Power, the 5 keys to inner peace and increased productivity. You'll also be joined to our private Live in Your Power Facebook group. You'll receive the bonus video of Janai Thornton, who shares her journey on how she went from 10% to 100% in her own life. And you'll also get the nine live calls where I taught on each principle of exponential living. And all of that is for $9.97. Guys, the webinar I'm going to do is what corporations pay me thousands of dollars to come in and do for their teams. And I'm offering it to 25 people because I know that you're ready, willing, and you're committed. So guys, please leave me a comment below and tell me what you are. Tell me the one or two things that you're most excited about in being a part of this journey of living in your power. So tell me the one or two things that you're most excited about. And I'm sure you know someone else that could benefit from this journey. So definitely share this video. Here's the key. Peace is possible. Peace is our power. And guys, peace is the new success. I'm looking forward to being your accountability partner, your life strategist on your journey to live in your power.